Hello everybody, this is a lecture of architectural heritage and today we are going to talk about Ellora caves. In this particular topic we are going to look at the surviving remains of caves at Ellora, and we are going to look at certain architectural details of those caves. Originally they were or locally they were known as Veruleni, these particular caves, and they are located near El Ganga river, and that is why they are called Elur or Ellapura. Now this particular location was an important center of trade and commerce for the Deccan region, and these caves, which include caves belonging to the religions of Brahmanism, of Jainism and of Buddhism, these caves were monasteries, these caves were temples, and these caves were places of accommodation of pilgrims. So ये जो लोकेशन है एलोरा की, यहाँ पर जितने भी ये caves हैं ये यूज़ होते थे एज मोनास्ट्रीज फॉर बुद्धिस्ट मंक्स. जैसे हम लोगों ने विहारा देखा था इन अजंता केव्स, उसी तरीके के विहारास हमको यहाँ मिलते हैं जहाँ पर जो बुद्धिस्ट मंक्स हैं उनका एक तरीके से एकोमोडेशन का स्पेस होता है. इसके अलावा कुछ टेम्पल्स मिलते हैं, चैत्यास मिलते हैं, एंड ये कहा जाता है कि पिलग्रिम्स जो गुजर रहे थे उस रास्ते से, दे वर ऑल्सो एकोमोडेटेड इन दीज स्पेसेस. राइट. अब हम लोग जस्ट ब्रीफली विल लुक एट कि क्या क्या क्रोनोलॉजी है इनकी और किन किन फेजेस में ये कंस्ट्रक्टेड हैं. Broadly, three categories or three chronological categories are given to Ellora caves. It is said that it had a Hindu period ranging from 550 to 600 AD, then a Buddhist period from 600 to 730 AD, and then a late Hindu and Jain period from 730 to 950. There are obviously overlaps, but these are the broad classifications that we have. And the caves themselves, there are 34 caves which are accessible, which are under our study. Of these, the 12 consist of 12 belong to the Buddhist faith, that is cave 1 to 12 were of Buddhist faith. Cave 13 to 29 were of the Hindu Brahmanical period, and cave 30 to 34 belonged to the Jain period. Moving ahead, we will just try to identify what were the major rulers who were patronizing these caves, who were patronizing the construction or the excavation or carving of these caves. किन्होंने बनवाया? It was there are a number of dynasties whose names come up. Vakataka dynasty, who is also associated with the later phase of Ajanta caves. Vakatakas also constructed certain caves at Ellora. Their time period is 250 to 500 AD. Apart from that, Kalachuris, these Vakatakas and Kalachuris were involved in the construction or in the excavation of Ellora caves. Apart from that, Chalukyas are attributed the construction of Buddhist caves, and the later caves are associated with Rashtrakutas and the Yadavas. So these are the major dynasties: Vakatakas, Kalachuris, Chalukyas, Rashtrakutas and Yadavas, which are associated with the Ellora caves, and of these Rashtrakutas and Yadavas belong to a later period. This is what Ellora caves look like. They are cut into a hill. They are cut into the stone of a hill, and this is what it looks like from the outside. Now we'll move ahead to look at specific features of each cave. We'll go by the divisions that have been made for better understanding the caves. तो हम लोग पहले बुद्धिस्ट caves देखेंगे, फिर हम हिंदू और ब्राह्मणिकल caves देखेंगे, फिर हम जैन caves देखेंगे. बुद्धिस्ट caves, जैसे मैंने आपको पहले भी बताया, belonged to 1 to 12 केव नंबर. राइट. अब इसमें से हम लोग बहुत ब्रीफली जितने भी केव्स हैं उनके जो स्पेसिफिक फीचर्स हैं उनको देखते चलेंगे. So cave 1 is a monastery, it's a vihara. It is located on the southern corner and it has a hall with 4 cells. Because मैं आपको याद दिला दूँ that viharas were places और वर मोनास्ट्रीज जहाँ पर एक बीच में एक बड़ा कोर्टयार्ड होता है जिसके चारों तरफ कमरे होते हैं. एंड दोज रूम्स आर यूज्ड बाय बुद्धिस्ट मंक्स फॉर देयर अकोमोडेशन. एंड यहाँ पर भी हमको एक कोर्टयार्ड मिलता है विच इज़ सराउंडेड बाय 4 सेल्स. 4 कमरे मिलते हैं हमको. एंड द हॉल, द कोर्टयार्ड डज नॉट हैव एनी पिलर्स और कार्विंग्स and is supposed to have belonged to 6th century AD. In cave 2 it has a main shrine. The hall has a main shrine and it has 2 cells on either sides. यहाँ पर जो मेन डोर है, द मेन एंट्रेंस is flanked by the images of Padmapani and Vajrapani. Now just jog your memory, we have talked about Padmapani and Vajrapani bodhisattvas when we were talking about Ajanta caves. And हमने देखा था कि वो 2 bodhisattvas हैं which are you know, bodhisattvas का अलग अलग अंडरस्टैंडिंग है हिनयाना एंड महायाना बुद्धिज़्म में. बट इन आर्किटेक्चरल और स्कल्पचरल डिटेल्स उनको ह्यूमन फॉर्म में डिपिक्ट किया जाता है. एंड ये माना जाता है कि पद्मपानी वॉज एसोसिएटेड विद बुद्धाज आइडियाज़ ऑफ एफेक्शन एंड his ideas of affection and Vajrapani is associated with his ideas of power. तो ये दोनों जो बोधिसत्वास हैं ये हमको एलोरा केव्स में भी मिलते हैं. एंड दे आर यूजुअली सीन गार्डिंग द डोरवेज. गेट के या कोई भी डोरवे है उसके दोनों तरफ ये हमको मौजूद खड़े हुए कार्व्ड मिलते हैं. यहाँ पर Padmapani is on the left side and Vajrapani is on the right side. The entire hall has 12 pillars. The pillars are placed on a raised plinth and there are many images of Buddha which are carved in Pralamba Padasana. Now we know Pralamba Padasana, it's a kind of position which is held by Buddha and we have talked about them and we had seen the image when we were talking about the Ajanta caves. So this is what we know about the cave number 2. And do notice the continuities that we see in the posture of Buddha, in the bodhisattvas that are represented in Ajanta and Ellora caves of Buddhist category. Then cave 3 is not that detailed. Its facade has fallen off and in this particular monastery or vihara the pillars are seen tapering upwards. And here again Padmapani bodhisattva is carved on the left side of the main shrine. Remember in viharas as well, though they were monasteries, they were spaces of accommodation, but as we have seen in Ajanta, most of these viharas had a shrine in the internal arrangement, and within that shrine an image of Buddha was usually present. So in this particular shrine, the gateway of the shrine has an image of Padmapani bodhisattva. Moving ahead, cave number 4 is a double storied vihara. Its lower story consists of a hall and a shrine. The hall has 12 pillars and there are images of Padmapani seated in a Pralamba Padasana posture. On the back wall of the shrine, Buddha is carved in Dharma Chakra Parivartan Mudra. We have seen both the Pralamba Padasana Mudra and Dharma Chakra Parivartana Mudra. We have looked at them when we talked about the Ajanta cave. So you should remember those particular postures. Cave number 5 is one of the largest viharas of Buddhist group in Ellora. It has around 24 massive pillars and 17 cells. It is huge in size. The cave, usually it is understood that the cave was a assembly hall because of its लार्ज साइज़. जितना बड़ा उसका साइज़ है, जितना बड़ा उसका एरिया कवर कर रही है वो पर्टिकुलर केव, तो ये माना जाता है कि वहाँ पर बहुत सारे लोग जमा होते होंगे और वहाँ पे लेक्चर्स दिए जाते होंगे और या असेंबली होती होगी. इसका जो मेन दिस विहारा, ये विहारा है एंड विहारा के अंदर एक श्राइन है एंड वो श्राइन जो है उसकी जो डोर है इट इज़ अगेन गार्डेड बाय पद्मपानी एंड वज्रपानी, राइट. एंड जो श्राइन है उसके अंदर बुद्धा की इमेज है सीटेड इन प्रलंबा पदासना होल्डिंग द धर्म चक्र परिवर्तन मुद्रा. नाउ प्रलंबा पदासना में आपके पैरों की पोजीशन या पैरों का पोस्चर डिफरेंट होता है एंड धर्म चक्र परिवर्तन मुद्रा हैज टू डू विद द हैंड्स. वी नो दैट. सो in the shrine of cave number 5, Buddha is present in Pralamba Padasana posture holding a Dharma Chakra Parivartana Mudra, and this cave is dated around 7th century AD. We'll just look at the image of this cave to better understand. So this is the spacious hallway that we have of the vihara. It has massive pillars, as you can see, and at the end, if you can see the image, you will be able to see that at the end of that particular this particular passage there is a shrine, and we'll look at the shrine as well. The shrine is like this. On the gateway on both the sides are Padmapani and Vajrapani, and inside the shrine there is a Buddha carved holding Pralamba Padasana posture and Dharma Chakra Parivartana Mudra. So I hope this is something that is visible to you all. This would give you a better visual understanding of what we are talking about and how this particular vihara is there in Ellora. Right. Now of the most or of the viharas or of the Buddhist caves that are of importance, we are not going to go into the details of all the caves because that would be too time consuming and futile an attempt. We would just look at some of the major important ones. So we looked at the first 5 Buddhist caves, and now we are going to look at cave number 10, which is of importance. It is locally or popularly referred to as Vishwakarma cave. It's a चैत्य cave. अभी तक हम लोगों ने विहारास देखे थे, बट अब हमको ये जो केव है केव नंबर 10, इट्स अ चैत्य. एंड जैसे मैंने आपको अजंता केव जब हम पढ़ रहे थे तब भी बताया था कि जो प्रोमिनेंट आर्किटेक्चरल मेथड है ऑफ एंशियंट टाइम्स दैट इज़ ऑफ वुडन आर्किटेक्चर, और ये हमने सांची स्तूपा में भी देखा था, है ना. तो ये जो पूरा पॉस्चर है या जो पूरा आर्किटेक्चरल ट्रेडिशन है ये स्टोन कंस्ट्रक्शन में एंड केव इनग्रेविंग्स में भी हमको नज़र आता है, और हमें ये समझ में आता है कि ये जो केव्स कार्व करी जा रही हैं इसमें उन्होंने वहाँ की डिज़ाइंस को, मतलब वुडन आर्किटेक्चर की डिज़ाइंस को अप्लाई करा है, विच इज़ वेरी beautifully visible in the ceiling of this particular chaitya, जहाँ पर ribbed carvings हैं. ऐसी ribbed ceiling हमने इन अजंता में भी देखी थी, राइट. तो यहाँ पर भी वही वुडन आर्किटेक्चर का एक तरीके से रिक्रिएशन है ना. एंड इट इज दिस पर्टिकुलर केव इज डेटेड अराउंड 7th century AD, एंड इसकी जो चैत्या विंडो है, चैत्या विंडो हम जानते हैं, वी हैव लुक्ड एट चैत्या विंडोज ऑफ अजंता केव्स. यहाँ पर जो चैत्या विंडो है ये थोड़ी डिफरेंट है. इट्स अ हॉर्स शू टाइप चैत्या विंडो एंड इट्स ऑफ ट्रीफॉइल शेप. ट्रीफॉइल मतलब 3 कर्व्स आ रहे हैं इसके शेप में. चैत्या विंडो यूजुअली चैत्या विंडो आर्चेस के फॉर्म में होते हैं इन विच देर इज ओनली अ सिंगल कर्व, बट यहाँ पर देर आर 3 कर्व्स दैट आर विजिबल इन दिस पर्टिकुलर चैत्या window. This is the image of the cave. You can see the beautifully carved stone in the form of ribbed pattern, which look like which are borrowing from wooden architecture that we have understood while looking at this particular cave. और यहाँ पर ये चैत्या cave है, cave number 10. Moving ahead, cave number 11 is a monastery. It's a vihara dated to 8th century AD, and it has 3 stories. It's a मतलब एक स्टोरी नहीं है, 3 लेवल्स पे बनी हुई है. 3 स्टोरी स्ट्रक्चर है, एंड इसमें भी देयर इज अ श्राइन एट द बैक जहाँ पर बुद्धा रिप्रेजेंटेड है ना, धर्म चक्र परिवर्तना मुद्रा. Cave number 12 is a 3-storied vihara again, and it is one of the largest excavations at Ellora. इसके जो ground floor है 3 वो हैं, there are 3 what would you say stories, and the ground floor is supported by 8 pillars divided in 3 rows of 8 pillars, right. And the ground floor has 11 cells, and in these cells There are stone beds as well. And in the shrine there is a Buddha mandala carved, which is a number of mythological figures that are carved. We'll look at that ahead. And the first floor, ये तो ground floor की बात होगी. First floor में 22 pillars, there are 22 pillars and 16 cells. And the main shrine of the first floor is flanked by Padmapani and Vajrapani. And in the second story, the hall is divided by a number of pillars, and the back wall of the hall has 14 large images of Buddha. This is the, when you see the image, you will see that the right hand image is the image of the vihara from the outside, and the image on the left hand side is the image of the vihara from the outside, and the right hand side is the image of Buddha mandala, which was carved on the in the first story of the cave. I hope this is visible to you all. And yeah, so on the back wall there is a Buddha mandala carved on the ground story of the cave, right? So this is what is there in cave number 12 of Ellora. Now we have looked at caves associated with the Buddhist faith. Now we are just going to move ahead to the caves associated with the Brahmanical faith, right? And in these caves, obviously we know the numbers are from 13 to 29. We are not going to go into the details of all these caves, but we are going to look at the important ones, and the most important of these is the cave number 16, which is known as the Kailasha cave, but we are going to look at that later. First we are going to look at the cave number 15. Now this cave is also a temple. This cave is a temple. It has a double storied structure, and this structure is known as Dasha Avatara, and there are many sculptures belonging to Vaishnavite traditions and also to Shaivite traditions. And on the back wall of this particular temple is seen the image of Shiva springing out of Linga, and he is seen protecting his worshipper Markandeya from Yamaraja, the god of god of death, right? So this is the entire sculptural motifs that are used in this cave number 15. Apart from this, there are carved images of Parvati and Gajalakshmi, and also there are the panels dedicated to Shiva, Vishnu and Brahma. The inscription is found in this particular cave. It's a Devanagari inscription which mentions the name of earliest Rashtrakuta kings, and in another inscription, there are two inscriptions that are there. There is the mention of the name of Krishna Raja, who was the successor of Danti Durga. Danti Durga is the founder of the Rashtrakuta dynasty. So these are the details of sculpture and architectural nature that we know of cave number 15. In this particular cave, we can see that Vaishnavite and Shaivite motifs and traditions both are used, and there are images of even Brahma that are depicted. This is the image of cave number 15 of Ellora. You can see that it is carved into a stone of the wall. Further, cave number 16 is the most important cave from Ellora. Why? Because it's a huge temple that has been carved out of a monolithic rock, that is, or of a single rock. It's a monolithic rock cut temple. From a single rock, the entire temple has been carved out, and it is argued by people who understand, or by scholars who have looked at its architectural details, that usually the caves are excavated in a horizontal fashion, that is, they are dug horizontally into the rock. But this particular cave or this particular temple was dug vertically, so they started sculpting or chiseling rock from top down for this particular temple, rock cut temple of Kailash. And it is argued that it was executed by Krishna Raja of Rashtrakuta dynasty. Why is it called Kailasha temple? It's called Kailash temple because it has a sculpture depicting Ravana shaking Mount Kailash. Kailash. We know Ravana was a devotee of Lord Shiva, and Shiva resides in Mount Kailash as per the Hindu mythology, and that particular incident is depicted in one of the panels in this particular cave. The fashion in which this cave is or this temple is carved is of Dravidian style. We will know more details of the Dravidian and the Vishara and the northern Indian styles of temples when we look at temple architecture, but for now we need to understand that the temple, the Kailash temple, is of Dravidian style. It was built by Krishna Raja, but eventually there were certain reconstructions that were done, and there are plasters and paintings belonging to the time period of 1258 AD and 1463 AD, right? When we will look at the temple architecture, then we will know that the temple consists of various elements, like it consists of a sanctum sanctorum, that is the Garbhagriha, where the main deity is kept. एक sanctum होता है जहाँ पर main deity of the temple रखी जाती है. उसके अलावा एक मंडपा होता है. मंडपा and गर्भगृह के बीच में there is a connection which is known as अंतराला. Right, so यहाँ पर हमको in cave number 16 of Kailash temple of Ellora, that is Kailash temple, we find that there is a sanctum with Shivalingam, there is an antarala, there is a mandapa, there is a it has porches on 3 sides. That porches मतलब एक दालान सा है. इसके अलावा नंदी मंडपा dedicated to Nandi Bull, and there's also a Gopuram. Gopuram are usually the gateways in Dravidian style of temple architecture. तो ये सारे elements हमको temple architecture के या temple construction activities के हमको cave number 16 में मिलते हैं. और इसमें और क्या चीज़ मिलती है, यहाँ पर in the courtyard मतलब जो space है outside the main shrine, वो जो courtyard है वहाँ पर हमको free standing pillars मिलते हैं जिनको हम ध्वज स्तंभास कह रहे हैं, and हमको elephant carved मिलते हैं. Apart from that, there are also shrines dedicated to river goddesses Ganga, Yamuna and Saraswati that are found in this particular cave. On the northern face of the temple plinth, अब जो temple है that is built on a plinth, and on the northern face of this plinth मतलब एक थोड़ा सा ऊंचाई पर बना हुआ है, and उसके northern face में हमको मिलते हैं scenes from महाभारता and रामायणा. महाभारत के नॉर्दर्न साइड पे मिलते हैं, रामायण के सदर्न साइड पे मिलते हैं. एंड the circumambulatory path contains panels depicting various manifestations of Shiva. So this is the entire detail of cave number 16, of its architectural elements and of its sculptural details that we need to know for now. We will just briefly look at the images. This is the cave number 16 of Ellora. You can see that it's a monolithic temple. It's a masterpiece of artistic excellence. एक केव के अंदर या एक रॉक के अंदर ऊपर से इन्होंने ये कार्व करते गए हैं, एंड देयर आर वेरियस. यहाँ पर जो आपको ये स्पायर दिख रहा है, दैट इज़ द विमाना ओवर द सैंक्टम, एंड ये पूरा एरियल व्यू है ऑफ द कैलाश टेम्पल एट एलोरा. ये एक दूसरा व्यू है. यू कैन सी दैट दिस एंटायर थिंग इज कार्व्ड आउट ऑफ अ सिंगल रॉक. एंड यहाँ पर हमको ये जो कोर्ट यार्ड दिख रहा है, वी कैन सी पीपल आर वॉकिंग इन दिस कोर्ट यार्ड्स, एंड इस कोर्ट यार्ड में हमको ये ध्वज स्तंभा एंड एलिफेंट नज़र आ रहे हैं. इसके अलावा towards the very बिल्कुल at the top of this particular image we can see that गोपुराम के जो हमें गेटवे की बात करी थी वो भी हमको नज़र आ रहे हैं. So this is the कैलाश temple of Ellora caves. Moving ahead, इसके अलावा कैलाश temple, which is cave number 16, cave number 17 is again temple. It has it's a cave. It has 12 pillars. एंड ये जो पिलर्स के ब्रैकेट्स हैं, जो पिलर्स होते हैं, दे आर स्टैंडिंग एट 90 डिग्री विद द सीलिंग, और वो जो सीलिंग है, मतलब रूफ जो छत है और जो पिलर है, उसके बीच में एक डायगोनल रॉड लगाई जाती है जिसको हम ब्रैकेट्स कहते हैं. वी हैव टॉक्ड अबाउट ब्रैकेट्स व्हेन वी टॉक्ड अबाउट द वेरियस फॉर्म्स ऑफ आर्किटेक्चर, ट्रेबिएट, कोरबिल्ड एंड आर्कुएट. तो तब हमने देखा था ब्रैकेट्स क्या होते हैं. तो यहाँ पर जो ब्रैकेट्स हैं, दे आर ब्यूटिफाइड विद स्कल्पचरल इमेजेस ऑफ salabanjikas. Now salabanjikas are beautiful feminine female what would you say, sculptural depictions. We have seen salabanjikas in Ajanta caves, and यहाँ पर in a Hindu temple or in a Brahmanical temple, these salabanjikas are depicted. So we know that Buddhism, Hinduism and Jainism sometimes shared mythological figures and mythological elements, right? इसके अलावा केव नंबर 17 हैज़ अ पैनल ऑफ ब्रह्मा. ब्रह्मा इज़ यू नो ऑन ईदर साइड, उनके दोनों साइड पे, एक साइड पे सावित्री हैं, एक साइड पे सरस्वती गॉडेस हैं. एंड देयर इज़ ऑल्सो अ पैनल ऑफ विष्णु दैट इज़ देयर. There are panels of Mahishasur-Mardini and Ganesha which are depicted in this particular cave. Apart from cave number 17, cave number 18, 19 and 20 are hardly of any specific value. They are dedicated to Shiva. Cave number 18, 19 and 20. Apart from that, cave number 21, which is locally known as Rameshwara cave, is datable to 8th century AD, and it is also dedicated to Shiva and Parvati. Cave number 22 to 29, there are we can see that there are all temples. They are dedicated to Shiva, mostly, primarily to Shiva, most of them, but there are also depictions of other gods like Vishnu, Lakshmi and Surya, sun god, in these caves from 22 to 29. So this covers our entire Brahmanical phase or Brahmanical caves at Ellora. Moving ahead, we're just going to look at caves are dedicated to the Jaina traditions. They are caves ranging from caves from 30 to 34. Out of them, cave 30 is very interesting. It is locally called as Chota Kailash. Why is it known as Chota Kailash? Because it is seen as a smaller depiction or a smaller what would you say, imitation or recreation of the Kailash temple, which is in cave number 16. This also is in Dravidian style, and it is built of only one story, and it is small and sometimes and also unfinished in nature. It is argued that both large Kailash and this small Kailash were of the same time period. And there are certain we know that there are certain sculptures that are found in the Kailash temple. So this is what we know, and certain 13th century sculptures are found in the larger Kailash, in the Kailash temple of cave number 16. We have already talked about it. So this is what Chota Kailash looks like. It's a smaller version of the larger Kailash temple. And we also, moving ahead, we look at the cave number 31. Cave number 31 is an unfinished cave. It is it's an unfinished cave, and it's a small cave, and it has 4 pillars. The hall has four pillars, and there's a small shrine in the back. And in this particular cave, there are depictions of Parshavnatha. Parshavnatha, we know, is the 23rd Tirthankara, and Parshavnatha's image is visible in this particular cave, and he is seen guarded by the serpent king Dharanendra with his 7 hoods. So Saap with 7 hoods, which is known as the king of the serpents, is seen protecting or guarding the 23rd Tirthankaras, Parshavnath. Cave number 32 is known as Indrasabha. It is dated to 10th century AD, and it has a main hall, it has a courtyard, a mandapa, and here we see that, like the cave number 16 of Kailash, that is the Kailash temple, that is cave number 16. Here also there are certain pillars known as Manastambhas and elephant statues that are depicted. Apart from that, cave number 33 is of 11th century AD. It's a double-storied shrine, and in the back wall we see Mahavira, who is the 24th Tirthankara, Tirthankara or the founder of Jainism. He is seated in a Padmasana in Dhyan Mudra in this particular cave. In the back wall, he is depicted in this particular fashion. Further ahead, the last cave of our study, cave number 34, is near cave number 33, and it has a veranda with square columns. There is a shrine in this particular cave which has an image of Mahavira in Padmasana, Dhyana Mudra, and the cave is datable to around 10th to 11th centuries AD. So this is all we need to know about the caves at Ellora. We'll look at the temple architecture in the next classes. Then the Dravidian style of temple architecture would become clearer to us. Thank you.